I'm going to give you a demonstration of the weed control search tool within Ontario's Crop Protection Hub. A reminder that we welcome your feedback. We want to make this a useful tool, so either provide feedback at the top right hand corner of the site or contact me directly. So the main function of the weed control search is that you have weeds in your field that you want to control at a particular time in a particular crop. So let's just say I'm looking to control weeds in Roundup ready field corn in the post-emergent application timing window. The weed control search filters how many treatments fit that requirement of Roundup Ready field corn in the post-emergent window. So we have 64 treatments that will do that. Right now they're listed in alphabetical order by the trade names of the tank mixes. You'll notice on these cards that at the top there's the chemical groups that make up this treatment. So the Weed Science Society of America groups 4, which is dicamba, group 5, which is atrazine, group 15, which is dimethenamide, and group 27, which is topramazole. Useful information for rotating chemistries and resistance management. We have the restricted entry interval, so 24 hours must pass from application before you can go back in the field to do scouting. Rain fast, so how much time must go between application and the first rainfall in order to make it effective on the species that you're targeting, and then the pre-harvest interval. At any time, you can view details of these products, but at this stage, usually you want to narrow down the search focus. So this is where you select the weeds that you want to control. There's no limit to how many you can select. As you select, it's going to reorient those cards to in order of best efficacy of the species that you've selected. Now, the nice thing about field corn is we typically have lots of really good options. So there probably isn't that much differentiation. So I've selected 6 products. You can see here the average efficacy is 95%. And as I scroll down, there's lots of options here that give me good control. And as we go down, like the numbers slowly start to go down to the point where if you scroll it all the way to the bottom, then you start to get into some products that do not control that spectrum, which is understandable. But let's go back to the top. You might notice here that glyphosate is a product that is in the top 3. But you might say to yourself, well, I know a lot of these species may be resistant to glyphosate. So how could I make sure that I don't select a product that might not control resistant weed species? And this is where you can select the filtering tool. So glyphosate is a WSSA9 herbicide. If I select the WSSA9 group, it's going to remove that glyphosate only as an option and only list products that control glyphosate resistant weeds. And so again, we have a number of options here. Let's just say you thought this was a product that you wanted to look at. You could select View Details. It's going to give you a link to the product profile page, which I'll show you in a second, the rates, the chemical group, certain restrictions, general application notes, and then a summary of the efficacy of the species that you've selected. So the 6 species that you selected are here. The level of control that can be achieved is provided, the staging required to reach that level of control, and then any other caveats like Canada fleabane, can't be higher than 20 centimeters in order to achieve that level of control. But it has to be emerged, right? So that kind of very specific information. Those profiles can be printed. If you wanted to dig a bit deeper into the product and find things like the rotational cropping restrictions, you would select Acuron, and it gives you a snapshot of the particular herbicide, all the kind of technical information, and then a snapshot of the crop registrations. So we have it registered in sweet, seed, and field corn at various different stages. There's maybe notes around uptake and translocation of the herbicide or any other information, the recropping information that we can kind of sort and filter, and then the labeled spectrum of weeds controlled, and the application stage required to achieve that level of control. So that's kind of all the functionality of the weed control search, is the ability to look up that information. So now we're going to switch gears and look at searching for particular products.